Good morning one more time and welcome. The people who are online, we can't quite see you, but we know you're there and would like to just welcome you to this meeting. We are just starting to have a discussion and to actually launch the MCK Industrial Placement Program. This is a program which will see all those people who have been to college and have not found a place to do their internship or to do their industrial placement in a media house can now get an opportunity. And we want to welcome everyone for this activity. We will be very happy to hear some of your views. We've already started off with a Mentimeter. If you have joined us later, the Mentimeter is www.menti.com, and there's a code. Once you get there, there's a code. The code is 914-36071. 914-36071. It will prompt you with some 5 questions, and each question will come on its own. Each question will come on its own. You just give us a short answer. This is where the teacher is not asking for a paragraph to explain yourself. If you feel that the answer is suitable with just 3 words, let's do those 3 words. www.menti.com 914-36071. It will open a page which will have Media Council at the top, and then it will have a question. Read the question, answer it very briefly. As soon as you submit that one, another question will come. So we just need brief answers. We want to be able to capture some of your sentiments on what is lacking in industrial skills that the students that are being trained in colleges, so that we can find ways to intervene, find ways to mitigate, have conversations with the training institutions, so that when we send out trainee journalists, at least they are able to acquire some of these skills and they will be able to practice them. At this point, I want to invite Victor Bwire to give us an overview of this program, how we arrived at it, and why we feel it will play a big role in the industry in terms of us fulfilling our mandate of setting standards and setting training standards for journalists. Victor?
Good morning once more, colleagues. The Cabinet Secretary for information. The CS, Banomoyo, the CEO, Media Council, our board member, Chair, Roslyn Obala, our lead consultant, David Aduda, colleagues present, both from the industry and academy. Karibuni sana. Now, quickly, the Media Council has 2 dual mandates. One is largely regulation of the industry, which comes through the complaints handling, where you bring your complaints, mediation, that's regulation. But the Media Council also has a media development expectation. So we combine both media development and media regulation. So at media development level, if you looked at the UNESCO indicators for media development, and which one, CS, you ask us many times, have we developed any local way of assessing press freedom in the country? Because we depend so much on international global rankings, that is Reporters Without Borders, Freedom House, and others. And this is part of localization of those international expectations into our way of locally assessing ourselves. So media development, especially capacity building, is one of the key 7 indicators of UNESCO when you are assessing freedom of expression in a country. Now, capacity building obviously moves In addition to the trainings we are doing, it will look at institutions. How many institutions do we have in the country that train journalists? Where do the journalists go? Media houses, absorption, freedom, and related. So while we have nearly 42 colleges, that's combining universities and mid-level, that offer journalism in this country, both public and private. We have over now 200 radio stations in the country, nearly 130-something TV stations, nearly 100 publications. That's print and online. But obviously, many of us, especially at the regulators level, we are getting that feeling. Where are these products that come from these 42 colleges then ending up? And that's the thinking. One of the key areas has been, and we also employ at some stage, and when through the interviews, you get a number of students who have graduated, who have finished course, but have not graduated. And they will tell you, I missed an internship opportunity, so I then never graduated. So then it becomes a challenge on how do you help such. So within the broader even thinking, that was under media development that we must unclog this capacity building challenge. And especially, averagely the Kenyan journal, averagely now we have in Kenya, at age level is 24 years of age, and average journalist is 24 years of age, first degree holders. Though we have now PhDs and masters in our newsrooms, but the bigger number is first degree holders or diploma holders at age of 24, who are the youth we are talking about. Now, if this is the big number that we are not then absorbing because they have not cleared their training, it becomes a challenge that they have incomplete. And that's the thinking around this program. That how do we unclog that challenge of students who have finished, but in terms of coursework, but they have one major step they have not cleared to then enable them join industry. The other thing is the schism or distance between academy and industry. On one hand, one says academy is giving us products that are then not usable in our industry, in the market. At one stage, the academy is saying media houses have stopped taking our students for industrial attachment, and then, for that matter, it's becoming difficult to gain then people who can then do work as expected. So there's that gap which we are feeling. So that's why in this room we have academy and industry that we need, and this should be the beginning of industry and academy interaction, so that this feedback helps in creating opportunities for youth to clear their training and get somewhere to go. Journalism is a creative art, and once they can be helped with these industrial skills, they can create their jobs. It's no longer a job in a newsroom. You can, because we are talking about content being the king. You can produce content on your phone. You can produce, but you need some practical industry skills that you can then develop content that a media house can pick and you sell. So that's why we are saying industry and academy must continuously talk so that the products we are producing, because media houses are also now running on lean budgets. And employing so many people in newsrooms, the human resource cost is so high. So if we can get freelancers like international media, you are aware, colleagues who work for 5 media houses, can that happen here? Can we allow our youth then get those skills and self-employ with the ICT technology we have? So that's our thinking. So within this program, one is to create linkages between industry and academy, that we then allow our youth to get the skills that would help them even self-employ or get employed elsewhere. 2 is to allow industry and academy to adopt this competency-based training of journalists, and so that then we get the relevant skills. Because the idea of we have master's students from journalism who cannot write an intro is a very irritating statement. That we have a master's student who cannot, but sometimes it's the reality. So that's part of the discussion. Then obviously within the bigger government thinking of internship, which is already in a bigger way being done by Public Service Commission, this will be a 3-month industrial attachment where Media Council will work as a mediator between the industry and media houses, and academy. So it will be a very needs-based approach. We are not just sending interns where everybody is all over. It will be based on, like the question said, the industry will send, the media houses will send us the capacity needs they need, they have. Then we also ask colleges to nominate about 10 of their students to us, and within the 42, we are working 42 colleges at 1010 is 420, which then we see how to distribute within the media houses that have asked for skills. So again, in the 47 counties, we are not just talking about students in Nairobi alone. We are looking at, other than 2 counties that have no local-based station, we have now, at least every county has a station that is based there. There are just 2 counties, I think Nandi and Nyandarua. So that's the approach. So it will be a very competitive project. It will require, as you have seen in the questions, it will require a lot of effort, both from the industry and the academy. If you give us students, we must work together with you for the 3 months to produce that product that we are looking at. Then it will have a very strong evaluation. And obviously from this, a number of these will happen. So that's how this program will run. 100 students every quarter. So we are looking at 400 in a year, if it allows. So we need a lot of cooperation from you, and we are very grateful to the ministry for having supported us, this idea. And obviously, and the ministry has also other information departments, KNA and others, KBC and others, that might also benefit from this thinking, because KNA is a huge news agency that does the same work like other agencies do. So we can even have a few of the students at KNA, Department of Information, so that then we can even increase the number depending on the needs. So that's how, CS, we are looking at this program. We are calling upon support from the industry and the academy to work together. In addition to this internship program, other engagements to review our curriculums, to also look at the competence-based approach that other professionals are using, so that we produce products that at the end of the day are helpful to themselves. They can self-employ or can get in the industry and become competitive. One of the few good things is that you see in a place like BBC, for example, their local bureau, 3/4 of their staff are Kenyan journalists. You go to Voice of America, Nairobi bureau, CTGN, 3/4 Kenyan journalists. That tells you how competitive the Kenyan journalists and youth are. So we just need to help them, hold their hands to help them compete globally. With that long speech, which I'm sorry for the first time I've done a very long speech, I want, when you are told to give an overview, you must overview kweli. So at this level then, I want to invite the CEO for Media Council, Bwana David Omoyo. Karibu sana.
Apologies. It's okay. Apologies. We want to first get to hear an overview of that strategy that we are deploying in order to get the interns and to get the internship program going. And at this point, I want to invite David Aduda, the consultant who we worked with to develop this program. The other thing about this internship program is that once they have these skills, they don't always get a job in a media house. They could actually go up and start their own media houses and their own outlets. So it's really a beneficial thing, both at individual level and also for the industry. Aduda.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear sister Christine. Bwana CS, Ministry of Information, ICT, I know it's a long ministry, but because you have energy, even youth affairs is under your docket. So that tells us how energetic you are. So Bwana CS, CEO, Media Council, namesake David Omoyo, Rosso Balla, my good friend, members of Media Council board present, members of the media fraternity present here, members of the academy, stakeholders, good morning. Good morning. This morning is an important milestone in the media industry. And I'll be explaining that based on the presentation that we'll be having here. For those who may not know me, for a minute, I'll just open up so that you know who you see. So if you meet me in the street, you know who you're talking to. So my name is David Aduda. When I see us in the media industry, they call me Mwalimu. So that is my common name in the industry. And I think that's why Bwana Moyo felt that as a Mwalimu, I should lead this process. So I've been in the media industry for 25 years, the Nation Media Group, and I led many processes. Now I'm out and doing many things. And one of the things that I'm doing is leading this process at the Media Council. And why are we doing this, and why am I saying this is important? I'll start by explaining. In 2007, for example, Nation Media Group started Media Lab, and I was the founding editor. And what was the reason? That there was a problem between the training offered in the training institutions and the industry. So the nation felt that let's get students from the university and train them to become journalists. It was done for a number of years. The nation realized that it is not a trainer. So they then outsourced this to Aga Khan University, and Dr. Sam Kamau is here, who is in that process. So they took it to Aga Khan University to do that. Similarly, started a media lab because of the same reason. But over time, they could manage it. They took it to Aga Khan University. What am I saying? That there is a challenge in terms of training, and there's a challenge in terms of getting the right skills, and the challenge in having these people go and work. And the reason why we are here is then to see how we connect the dots. And in this respect, and I've told Bwana Moyo that the Media Council has made a major step in addressing a fundamental need in the industry, which is linking this gap and ensuring that now internship or called industrial attachment will be organized, will be streamlined, and will be done in a way that helps both the trainers and the industry. And that's the basis upon which we are having this session, and that's the basis upon which we are starting this program. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to indicate that this program has been well thought through. And we've developed a strategy around it. And this is what we want to share with you so that from the stakeholders, you can get input, because we don't have monopoly of knowledge. So we'll go through this shortly, and we'll then open it up so that later on during the plenary, members present here will then give some input to enrich what we have here. And what we have there is an introduction to what we have, but the key point to mention here is the industrial attachment program, the intensive program, is targeting final year students, both from the universities and both from the diploma colleges. And all of us now know that the mid-level colleges, who we call TVETs, are becoming key players in this country's industrial and economic development. So we're targeting that group here. And we are saying the institutions that we'll be targeting are those that are recognized, because when I see us, Media Council is about standards. So the question of recognition is important. And in that respect, the Media Council will be working with other institutions, Commission for University Education, to ensure the universities are recognized, and TVETA, the one that deals with middle colleges, to show that everything is in order. And we'll also be dealing with other related organizations. Now, my colleague, Victor, had, in his overview, told us about the objectives. So I'll just reinforce them here, that one of the objectives of this program is to introduce trainees to the culture of work. And why do we say so? We know of people who go to university because the mother or the father told them to go to university. So you tell them to go to work, and then they go to the office, and they told them do this and this, then they say, this is not what I wanted. Now, we want to introduce them to the culture of work. Now, culture of work has many manifestations. Among them, the self-discipline, the ability to listen, the ability to collaborate, the ability to work in teams. So this will be inculcated through this program. Then we talk of work-based skills and ethics. And in our industry, Bwana CS, we have serious ethical issues. And I know you're aware about this. So this part of the council's initiative of addressing the ethical issues. First, the work ethic, and two, professional ethics. And we are all aware of the code of ethics that we have under the Media Council Act. So we'll be introducing this. Then we also intend that through this program, will enhance training and professional standards in the industry. And what do we mean? Going by the questions and answers we received here, we saw the interlock of what the industry needs and what the trainers train for. Now, to bring the intersection of this program will be able to give, from the training part or from the training component, trainers will provide the students. When they go to the industry, the rest will tell us that your student has this ability, but there's this gap here. Can you, in your next cohort, prepare your students for this? So that is what we mean by here, enhancing training and professional standards. Lastly, and very important, is establishing training and industry link, which has been missing. And we must commend the Media Council for, on several occasions, working out on programs that create this linkage. Very important, because the industry and the trainers cannot work at cross purposes. They must work in unison because they have a common objective. So these are the reasons why this is very important for us. Then, how do you want to do the recruitment? First, what will we do out or from this process moving forward? The Media Council will be putting out adverts calling for application for people, for students to apply. And the thinking is that the applications should come to the university for proper coordination. And the applications, what we are talking about, we'll do them every quarter. And as Victor said, we want to create a pool of well-equipped trainees such that within a year, you have 400 or so students from our universities, from our colleges, who have not only graduated, but have gone through the work placement process and are able to work by themselves or join the industry and join it running. So we'll do this every quarter. But the key point to take home is that the Media Council is going to put out an advert shortly, perhaps in the next 1 week or so, and from that, we'll start the process of recruitment. Now, then the placement. As Vicky had said, we have 200 radio stations. We have 134 or so radio TV stations. We have several publications. Then we have established organizations that are also doing content. We have bloggers and all that. Now, we'll be signing MOU with various organizations that want to get into this. And why the MOU? To establish commitment. And why the commitment? We want every player to commit to doing 1, 2, 3, which will spell out. For example, when students or trainees are sent to media houses, who will they be reporting to? Who will guide them? After the training, who will evaluate them? Who will give them a commendation letter? So we'll spell out this in the MOU so that this process is all coordinated and properly coordinated and well organized so that everybody gets value from it. So we'll have an MOU with many organizations, and then we'll, in terms of placement, it will be determined by the following criteria. One, what is the training that this trainee, what is the training qualification or skill that this trainee has? For example, are you a videographer? Are you a digital journalist? Are you data journalist? And then, where do you want to be placed? I want to be placed in Milembe FM. Does Milembe FM need a data journalist? No, they may need somebody else. So we'll match then the training skill of the trainee and the need of the media, the media station or the media house, because what we want here is a match which benefits both parties. And from that, we'll be able to benefit both parties. Then we are saying that this will be done every quarter, and Victor had explained why every quarter. That aligns with the government's budgeting cycle and government development plans. So that's why we're doing that. Now, in the industry, how will we do the supervision? This will be a 3-tier kind of supervision. The media house will designate somebody who will be responsible for handling the trainees and ensuring that the trainee is given assignments and that is given feedback every day or every week about his or her performance. Then 2, the training institutions. For example, Dr. Janoti from USIU will be coming, and Dr. Janoti is here, one of the veterans in the media industry, will be coming to see that his trainees have not been left to wander about in the newsroom, as they always do. My dear sister, my elder sister, Martha is here. She knows what happens. That people just left there. They grapple the whole week. Then they say, pale hakuna kitu. So there'll be the trainers coming to check what's going on in the newsroom, how these people are being managed, what assignments they're doing, any progress they're making, and are they benefiting from this. Then the Media Council will have its guys going to check what is really going out, because at the end of the day, Media Council is the one putting money in here, and they want to see this value. So they want to see that the student is being given assignment, the student is being supervised, the trainer is coming to check what's going on, and the student is really working, so that even if the person leaves after 3 months, the person has benefited. Then the other thing that we'll also encourage the media organizations to do is to provide mentors. I need to explain this. There's a supervisor who could be the news editor or the station manager. But you're also encouraging media houses to have mentors. And mentors is not necessarily a supervisor. Mentor is somebody who guides you, works with you, helps you to navigate the jungle that is the industry. So we'll be encouraging them to provide mentors to support the trainees. And then we also encourage that the mentors, they don't just end after the 3 months. Mentors can be lifetime. People can work with you throughout your life. Why do I talk about Mother Mbugus? Mother Mbugus trained us, supported us in writing features. For many years, she was at the Nation, and we learned feature writing through her. We still go to her even today. Then we are saying that at the end of this, we would expect the supervisors to prepare and submit to the council a report about this trainee. If this person came and only took tea every morning and disappeared, or they kept going to the canteen, Standard as canteen, Nation as canteen, they spend most of the time at the canteen, or they're really doing some assignments. So that's what we are looking at. And when Victor said something about finances, and this is very core, and I need to explain this. Media Council will be giving a stipend for the trainees. And Bwana CS, we are grateful for this, because I know through your ministry, you have various initiatives like KIOP and the State Department of Youth Affairs, which is supporting youth. This one is supporting youth similarly, where we are having students being given stipend to work for 3 months. And why is this important? I can tell you that the reason why many media organizations don't absorb interns is because they don't have money to pay them. We all know that the industry is struggling. So the first budget cut is no stipend for trainees. Now this is the gap that the council is coming to fill. And this is very important for the Kenyan youth, that you train, then you get a chance to practice, and somebody take care of your transport, your lunch. You have something at least also to go and visit Java. So that's very important, and it's good information that I think the public need to know, and the trainers need to know that they will not be bothered that students don't have something for upkeep when they're going through training, through internship. Then the last element is the easy one. After every cohort has gone through internship, we'll be having some ceremony to celebrate them. Just to say that we took 100 trainees, took them through internship, and here they are. This is what they've learned. We are now releasing them to the market to do what they've been trained and also assessed during the industrial attachment and proved to be capable of doing. So this is how we've organized this. And our intention is that at the end of it, there'll be benefit for everyone. Now, what is here should not bother you is just schedule of activities which should not bother us. But the last thing that I want Abuga to show is in the next slide. Next two slides. Yes, selection criteria. So just for the trainers who are here, and we would benefit from your input from this, that we are first saying that these are people who are final year students because this we know is a requirement for the graduation. So we hope this is helping the industry needs. I hope that is true, Sam and Nyanoti and Martha Mbugus. Then, instead of letter of application, we're talking of a letter from the university telling us we need these people. And then we need a transcript to show this person was in school. And lastly, sorry. The last thing is placement based on what I said. I think this thing is joking me there. Math is good, but it can also joke you as you as you talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important for us, and you'd want during the plenary for us to deliberate and see, do this really serve the interest of the trainers and the industry, like Wakinangare who are here. So tell us if this really meets that criteria that you think is useful for all of us. So I think with that, Abuga. So these ones are just for our information, that we'll have evaluation reports, both for the student and for the supervisor. And then we're saying that we'll have an MOU. So this is just for our information that we know how this program is organized. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll then allow me to, I don't have, at this point, we'll have plenary question or declare later. Christine, after this, do we have Q&A or later?
No, we continue a little bit.
All right.
We'll do the plenary in a bit.
So thank you, Buenos Dias. So this is what we've planned, and we hope that through your guidance, the guidance of our ministry, we'll be able to deliver on this. And we thank everyone who has come, and please contribute to its input. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. A round of applause for David Aduda. Pole sana. You have choked a little bit. I just want to read a few comments because there are people who are online, they are following this, and they are raising some issues already. One of the first ones that came in was saying that we need to impress on the colleges to invest in the course and put in some of the technical facilities that are required, things like microphones, a studio, or even have a small newspaper where they can publish some stories before they get to finish. We are joined by people from Tarumbeta FM, from North Rift Radio. We have someone else called Kitutu Sylvester, says that basically as a student, I'm looking forward to be absorbed as an intern so that I can gain some of the skills. The ones that we do, we study for writing our exams. But now I want to be able to write so that it can be published and I can get to see. Also, some students require a general understanding of the media because they have studied the course, but they don't have a very good understanding of the media itself. Scripting is an issue to some of them. Kindly, this will really help if they are trained on the same through this project. We have people joining us from Wikwatio FM in Kitui, Lulu FM. We have Busia County, Muria FM. There's also a few people who have said they are students from St. Paul's University and they're saying they hope they will be among the first cohort since they are a fourth year. They have already started lobbying. So the list has started building itself for applicants. We also have Stephen Lele from Sogut FM. This initiative is great. This is Ann Hambaja from Raya TV in Mombasa. Also, we have people from Riri TV in Nakuru. One of the comments which came in right at the beginning was saying that finally we have almost a guarantee. I suspect it's a student. Finally, we have almost a guarantee that we will get internship instead of walking around with a college letter looking for a place to become an intern. So I think there is quite some excitement around this project. And at this point, I want to invite Victor Bwire, Director for Media Training and Development, to come and invite the CEO.
Bana, our CEO, David Omoyo, karibu sana. As a regulator, Omoyo is very worried we might have no person to regulate if the industry does not absorb these students. So, Bana Omoyo, karibu sana.
Bana CS Joe Musheru, Rosalyn Obala, David Aduda, the consultant, universities and colleges represented here, Dr. Nyanoti, Dr. Kamau, and the others, and the media houses. Good morning. 2 years ago, we were cross-checking with the CS and confirming it exactly on the 2nd of October 2019. I wrote a letter to the CS asking him to give us support to do internship. On average, me and the CS, unless we've been called by Parliament, we meet about twice a year. We don't meet much. So then he called me and asked me, Omoyo, unaona Public Service Commission inafanya industrial placement, kwa nini unafanya yako pia? Kwa nini usifuate ya PSC? Then I told him, wacha nije nikueleze. Then I explained to him that the PSC is only placing young people in government ministries, departments, and agencies. But the media sector has more skill sets that need to be placed in the media industry, media houses, the skills writing, photography, online, mobile the development, photojournalism, and all that. So he told me, write the letter. We wrote the letter, calculated, and all that. It was October, of course, it's outside the normal budgeting cycle. So tukangoja. Sometimes it takes time in government. You write in January, unaambiwa budget itasomwa June, na pesa itapatikana September. So a year ago again, when I mentioned to him, then he told me, Sasa, youth affairs is in our ministry. So there is a bit of hope. And so when we saw some little budget, I told the board, nafikiri, we have been given something, and we started. So yesterday, when I was sending an apology because we were supposed to be going to Nyeri for an event, I told him, no, we are launching the internship, and then after that we are going to Mombasa for some other government business. And he asked me, is that the internship? Yes. Is that what you requested? Who are the people coming? We are targeting attachment for youth. And he said, the ministry is in charge of youth. And he said, if it matters youth, I will create time, because when he goes to cabinet, he has to report about youth and our initiatives. So that's how we end up here, Waziri. And thanks for everyone for agreeing to join us in this. We have had a crisis in this country, unspoken, of lack of internship and attachment opportunities. People are not graduating, media houses are not absorbing new people. So we have guys, you finish the coursework and 1.5 years later mtu anazurura. So nipatie tu barua tu ya kuonyesha nilikuja hata kama hamna opportunity so that I can graduate. It's been a crisis around. And so we said, before we move to the internship, let's do an industrial placement. And the truth of the matter is, we have a clock. Even as we start, but as yes, you notice we are targeting to take 400 people. We hope that we will get a little more support to increase the numbers. Because apart from the mainstream media houses here, before you came, we ran the Menti research here to see how many people. I saw one media house posted 100, another one posted 250, another one posted 18, and others. So the participation, let's say the waiting list has no less than 2,000 people. We have been taking them in bits of 100 and 100, so we'll be glad if we can be allowed to take much more, because the media houses are willing, the colleges and universities are providing people. We really appreciate the support. The whole idea is to make sure that there is enhanced skills development and opportunities for youth to transition from the theory they are taught, then to engaging in the industry, so that eventually when they graduate, there will be a ready job market to take them in the broadest sense of skills. And also, they can be allowed to do their work. We have a lot of independent content producers, video editors, TikTokers. Naona kama kuna TikTok pia inatengenezea tu pesa kidogo. You know, and even, you know, the online TVs and radios. So the whole idea is to really develop the skills and all that. We appreciate our consultant, Bwana Aduda. He has put timelines there. We will try to stick to those timelines so that we can clear the clog as soon as possible. We will hope to get a little more funding to take more numbers. And for the sake of transparency, we will be giving 15,000 shillings per month per student. For what Aduda says, for transport ya kwenda nyumbani na kupitia Java. So we will make sure that then they are not able to, they don't get stuck. And we urge, I've seen a few media houses published. I've seen our own KBC and Ebru TV urging young students to go and pay. We urge that we sign this MOU very fast. The trainees, we will try to take care of them. We cannot have a student alipe school fees na kuja attachment alipe tena 15,000 per month. I saw a flyer like that. It's just too much. So please join us. We will be able to take care as long as they meet that criteria to take care of that need. So thank you very much everyone for participating. Thank you, Bwana Waziri. Of course, as we said, thank you. We hope utatuongeze ili tuongeze the numbers more. The need is a lot. And we urge everyone that we continue participating and collaborating to make sure that we give our youths skills and opportunities for life. So with those few remarks, I want to invite Madam Rosalie Nobala. She is the chairperson, the board committee for media training and development, to give us a few remarks, and then welcome Waziri to give us his remarks. Asanteni sana.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri, for joining us for this event. Thank you, David Aduda, for this wonderful program that we are launching today. I want to recognize the Media Council Board and the management, led by the chairman, Maina Mwiruri, who is not here. But online we have board member, Madam Tabitha Mutemi. We also want to recognize the CEO who has made us come here. I want to thank the academia and media managers, editors who have joined us to celebrate this big occasion. This is a milestone for the media and the Media Council of Kenya, that we for the first time are going to recognize the challenge that is in the industry as we try to align and ensure that we achieve our mandate to develop and regulate the media industry in Kenya to promote media freedom, professionalism, and independence. Promoting professionalism in the media remains a core mandate of the Media Council of Kenya under the Media Council Act number 20 of 2013. Pursuant to this, and in line with the Council's mandate to promote, enhance ethical and professional standards among journalists and media enterprises in Kenya, the Council had also started a virtual Africa Media Academy focusing on development of training standards, building capacity of journalists, and ensuring professionalism in practice. As we go ahead, the Academy specifically fulfills the following 2 mandates of the MCK drawn from the Acts. This is to set standards in consultation with the relevant training institutions for professional education and training of journalists and media practitioners. The second is to subject any other written law, consider and approve application for accreditation by educational institutions that seek to offer courses in journalism, and that is why we are here today. Accordingly, the Academy serves the need of the media professionals in management, editorial, and content development positions by providing them with continuous professional development courses, workshops, and seminars throughout open, in-house, and online delivery. And I think MCK has been doing that for a while now. It offers the following: professional development courses, workshops, seminars, and online courses, curriculum development, and standards and college inspections. The Academy continues to conduct training for journalists on various topics and specializations, and this includes the President's Big Four agenda. That is why the CS is here, to build capacity of the youth, as well as a national value and governance, ethics and anti-corruption, and other matters of public interest, such as climate change, which is a big issue now, especially as we head for the COP26, and the food security, gender, and non-discrimination. The Council is cognizant of the major gaps that exist between the journalism training and institutions and the industry. And Mr. David Aduda has alluded to that and how best we can harness what we have today to address this challenge. Now, through this industrial placement program, the Council seeks to assist journalism students and especially graduates to overcome challenges they face while attempting to transition to the media workplace. Just as the earlier speakers have indicated, we are targeting the first batch of over 400 students, and this will be recruited into the program across the country on a quarterly basis over a period of 3 years per cohort. The Council's support to the students' attachment via a complement stipend of a minimum of 15,000 per month will be issued to cater for their immediate expenses. The Council anticipates that the successful implementation of this program will encourage other stakeholders to come on board and support our young and upcoming journalists. As MCK, we are going to further support journalists through travel grants to support specialized coverage of matters of public interest. And I think since the COVID-19 situation that we have faced, I think we've had a number of grants for health. Currently, we are doing the mental training counseling for journalists. We are also training on safety and security, so you can see it's a wide range of trainings that we are undertaking. The Council remains committed to supporting Kenyan journalists to strengthen professionalism and adhere to the media ethics. As a Council, and under this Committee of Media Training and Development, we'll endeavor to engage the industry, the academia, to ensure that we stand tall to our mandate to set standards and ensure compliance. Thank you. As I wind up, I want to invite our able CS, Mr. Musheru. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning again.
Morning.
Actually, I'm very happy to be here this morning. You know, when I first got into government 2015, one of the first briefs I had was that we were in court with the Media Council. Actually, they had sued us, and the term of the board had expired. and even budgets were now expiring, and in fact there would have been no media council. So I'm very happy today that we're here talking serious development. So we went through our own handshake with the media, everybody talking about the independence of media, many things. But here we're talking about development. And I want to challenge the media to say what economic model this one is. Because as you've heard from the CEO, we have at the national level many internship programs. We have the one at Public Service Commission. We also have the Presidential Digital Talent Program that goes on. But by providing support to the Media Council, they've been able to get now, we're talking of 400 young people to go into the media houses and work on this sector. So you can imagine if we send money to the ward level so that there's a ward fund, what they'll actually do even down there at the ward. So I'm not a politician, so I'll not go into more details on that. But I'll recognize Rosalind Obala, the chair of the committee that's dealing with media training, and all the council members that are also present, the CEO, Mr. David Omoyo, also the trainer, Mr. David Aduda, media stakeholders, training stakeholders, members of the Fourth Estate, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. I'm pleased to join you this morning as we mark this major milestone by the Media Council of Kenya. I cannot overemphasize the importance of skilled manpower in any profession. Just like other professions, media performance has come under scrutiny from time to time over the professional conduct of its personnel. But with the media, there's an even bigger burden of expectation placed on you because of the crucial central role that you play in our lives. There's a good reason why your profession is referred to as the Fourth Estate. It is because you play such a critical role in the balance of power in any system of governance. You have the power of the pen, and like has been often said, the pen is mightier than the sword. The implications, however, is that you will use your pen responsibly to become the voice of reason when things fall apart, to paraphrase the popular book by Chinua Achebe. You must remain the disinterested arbiter when others have fallen by the wayside. You must not take sides or even be seen to be taking sides, because your profession is anchored on objectivity and non-partisanship. The media is a key pillar that should hold others accountable, not because you have an agenda you are trying to achieve, but because you have a higher calling to be the voice of the people. You must at all times be the unbiased party, the umpire, whose role is to ensure that all are playing fair without taking sides. The media have the power and a huge responsibility to the populace to not only keep them informed and entertained, but to also shape political discourse and guide them in making the right socio-economic and political decisions. As research has time and again shown, people place a lot of trust in the media, and what you say is oftentimes taken as the gospel truth. That is why I'm reiterating that with power comes a huge responsibility to your audiences. This responsibility, however, goes beyond just reporting what is happening, but goes a notch further, since you can help shape the destiny of your country as well. It is a cliche that is well worth repeating, that media workers determine the quality of information gathered and disseminated by media outlets, and therefore broadly influence the audience perceptions. In the recent past, the expanding digital space, emerging technologies, and the COVID-19 pandemic have also immensely transformed the Kenyan media landscape, both in terms of structure and professionalism. This calls for relevant adaptive measures. As a ministry, we are keen on seeing high professionalism in our media outlets, guided by provisions of the Media Council Act of 2013, and specifically by the Code of Conduct for the practice of journalism in Kenya as enshrined in the second schedule of the Act. I call upon media sector players to ensure that media personnel are well-trained, equipped, and provided with a conducive working space. This will address issues of professionalism and in adherence to journalistic ethics, besides ensuring that standards and safety of journalists is not compromised. Ladies and gentlemen, our young people face numerous challenges in accessing jobs after graduating from college. Most are not skilled enough to undertake competent media work, making most media outlets not keen to uptake this otherwise multi-talented group. There is therefore need for skilling of journalism graduates with requisite skills needed in the newsroom and other areas requiring media expertise. During training, immersive internships are essential to successful outcomes after graduation of our young people. It is important that media trainees access opportunities where they can apply and develop the academic concepts they have learned in the professional settings as well. I would also like to add that industrial placements provide graduates with opportunities to develop their knowledge of workplace collaboration, character growth, business etiquette, and strong communication tactics, which are among the vital soft skills that can only be learned on the job. And in this way, internships will empower the young people who are just starting off to build their profiles, besides teaching them instrumental career-building qualities. I am pleased that the MCK has seen the need to set up infrastructure and extend support to promote and strengthen working relations between the media sector and training institutions in Kenya. I commend the Council for supplementing government initiatives to ensure that our youth access job opportunities through training and offering skills development opportunities to young graduates, as well as a way of preparing them to be industry ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, the lack of a functional relationship between media industry and academia in the sector has frustrated the attainment of practical industrial exposure that is critical to skills transfer and progression of students in journalism training institutions. It is sad that students seeking industrial attachments in this extreme are sometimes forced to pay for a period they should be lucky to get a space. This initiative by the MCK is a step in the right direction, and it's moving us into a better situation. I would like to appeal to other media stakeholders and development partners to support this initiative, as this will ultimately contribute to availability of opportunities for millions of our graduates. I also take this opportunity to assure the media in Kenya of the ministry's support to press freedom and in creating a conducive environment for media operations. I want to reiterate that my ministry is committed to supporting the Media Diversity Fund as a way of enabling the industry to respond to the current financial and professional constraints faced by our media industry. I support the initiative that is taken by the Media Council in setting the media standards and ensuring compliance with those standards as set out in Article 34(5) of the Constitution and promoting press freedom in the country. I call upon the media to reciprocate by practicing responsible reporting. I also appreciate the industry efforts to tighten media laws that seek to enhance professionalism in the media and ultimately promoting press freedom in Kenya. So with these few remarks, I now officially launch the Media Council of Kenya Industrial Placement Program. Asante sana, and congratulations. Let me end by saying that this initiative is making a difference across the country, and I will take it upon myself to continue to push for more budget so that we can have more students and others be able to get these internships. I think my job will even be easier because it's fully in line with what our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, wants us to achieve. Creating the jobs, creating the opportunities, skilling our young people so that they can be able to grow Kenya, so that we can meet our objectives of Vision 2030, being a knowledge-based economy, and the many things that we're doing now, even on the digital space, the jobs that are being created. If each of us combine and we are able to bring our youth these opportunities. For example, right now, we've got almost 900 young people that are working in the judiciary, doing transcription, doing scanning, and helping our judicial process move even faster. I mentioned the Presidential Digital Talent Program, interns who are also coming in. But even outside of government, we now have over 1.2 million young people working online on the Ajira Digital Program. And this can be expanded. We are training over 5,000 young people every month on all the skills that they need to go online. And these skills range from many of the skills that you've already been taught in school. I mean, one of the most interesting programs we have is there are students here who are watching CCTVs, security TVs in America and other places. And if anybody, for instance, in supermarkets is doing some mischief on the aisle, someone in Kenya is reporting, and that person is dealt with. But these people sometimes work at night because of the time zone in the US. And sometimes parents are not sure what they are doing awake at night, and they are sleeping during the day. Digital work is real work, and people are earning good money, and they will be able to move further. And so I'm also challenging the media to continue to expand. As you get these interns, please inject the digital skills that they need so that they can be able to use the different platforms and be able to make money, not just for themselves, but for Kenya. I'm convinced that by 2030, we should, in this sector, even overtake tourism in terms of foreign exchange for our young people working from here, because we'll be the freelancing headquarters of the world. And they are working overseas using the internet, and then they are being paid directly. I think that our banks are already facilitating for them. And so there are great opportunities that are happening. And so let me end by saying I'm extremely happy that when we come together and we see the common problems that exist in the country, and we have that alignment, we are able to really move the country forward. And so, as I mentioned, we started at a very difficult time with the Media Council. But right now, we are partners. We are aligned and we're moving very far. So that is our handshake. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
I want to get some few views, observations, maybe even questions for Aduda on the presentation that he made to us. I know we have in the house some editors. I see Ilado, I see Kagwa, I see Peter. I think it's good that I also see Joel from the digital broadcasters. I think it's important that we get to hear some views, some comments from you now that we are going to place these interns in your media houses. Really quick. Oh, yes, Dr. Nyanoti. Dr. Nyanoti, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Joseph Nyanoti. I teach journalism in USIU. Now I'd like to find out from Mr. Duda. The internship program, of course, like Christina said, is music to the ears of us, the trainers, because we train students, we meet them after a year, they have not graduated and they're not working, we look irrelevant. Now, in the training institutions, there are imbalances between broadcast, TV, broadcast, radio, print, and PR. Okay, I come from print, and my classes are very thin. My colleagues come from broadcast, TV, the classes are very big. My other colleagues come from radio. Classes are also very small for some reason, and radio is big. Now, this program, when you come, say, to USIU to ask us to present 5 applicants, are you going to tell us that give us the 5 you think are good, or is there a situation where, through the initiative of Media Council, we try to kill these imbalances? We have got very many radios, but we don't have many radio graduates. We have got very few print graduates. So, are you going to try and not skew to one direction? Say TV, because TV is very popular. Thank you.
I wanted the microphone to go to Andy Kagwa, who is sitting next to Dr. Nyanoti.
Good morning, colleagues and team.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, Christine, for giving me this opportunity. I must say that there was a lot of excitement when the Media Council announced that they are going to launch this program. At a very, very personal level, and as a representative from the Standard Group, I must say that I'm equally excited about this program. From where I sit, I know I get very, very many requests for internship programs, work placements, and attachments. So for the industry, for the Media Council to think about this program, it's a welcome move. It's going to bridge that gap, as the speakers have said from the MCK, between now the industry and the training institutions. I know at the Standard Group we have had 3 groups that we have trained in-house. We had one which was done in-house. We used to call it the Scribed Inc. We picked 12 guys who trained. Then the second one, we are trained at the Aga Khan. Then the last group, also of 12 trainees, we did about 2 years ago. One thing I must say is that when we are doing the recruitment for the 12 trainees that we had in the last Standard Media Academy, we had close to 400 applicants for these positions. You can imagine getting 12 trainees for this position. It was not an easy job, and I must appreciate our Chief Talent Officer, Mr. Nicholas Watomu, who is here. We had to go through thorough vetting and interviewing of these students. I know when we had about 20 students, we could not agree on the last like 6 or 8 people who to put on board. So I appreciate the effort that the Media Council has done. I appreciate the support from the ministry and the fact that they are going to get a stipend to support the media industry. So Christine, thank you very much for this support.
Thank you. I know there's somebody from Capital, I think Momaini. Oh, there's also someone who is sitting over here. I think we want to get some of these views so that we know, is this really, do they feel that this is really going to meet their need? And what are their aspirations on it as well? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Christine. I'm Peter Ngare from National Media Group. And let me say that what the Media Council has done has come at the right time, because the industry is facing challenges, as you know. Like a nation, when the COVID hit last year, we suspended the internship program. Then when we reopened at the end of last year, we scrapped the stipend that we were giving because of the financial issues. And as Nani has said, Andy, we also have a media lab program. We have brought it back this year. And when we put out an advert for applications, we had over 2,000 applications from Kenya and a few from other countries. And we just needed 10 interns to join the program, 10 from Kenya and 5 from 3 3 from Tanzania and 2 from Uganda. The program is on, but it has been an effort to make sure that we sustain the talent. And what happens in the program is being run at Aga Khan is that we don't necessarily focus on the students who are taking courses in communication or journalism. We open up to all careers. And mostly we have people pursuing other courses or joining in. So it is a challenge also to the trainers that why is the industry not very keen on what is coming out of our communication in colleges. We are going for other courses, but training them to be to work in the media industry. So let me say that for this program, it has come also to bring hope even to students. We receive a lot of applications, inquiries about internship, but we are not able to accommodate all of them. At the moment, we're having a few of them. We are not paying them anything. We are just offering them an internship. They clear and go. But now with the MCK it's able to have a structured way of bringing in these people, and we are able to fill in all sectors. We have like in NMG, we have data, we have videos, we have a lot of departments from print, digital, TV. So, and also we have offices in our regions. So it will be a system that will benefit both the industry and the trainers and also the students. So I applaud David and his team and the board for what you have done, and we are going to support you as NMG. I'll communicate to my team, and we'll be waiting to sign that MOU, so that we start immediately. Thank you.
Perhaps we should have carried one of them for those who are daring to go and just sign it today. There's a comment from the back. Aduda, I will want you to respond to the question that was asked by Dr. Nyanoti of that disparity. Yes, we take the comment and then we'll respond to Dr. Nyanoti. Yes, go ahead.
So my name is Winnie Kamau from Association of Freelance Journalists, and we run an online platform called Talk Africa, and we are fairly young and very new in this business. We are not like a media house per se, but we created a platform where journalists can be able to publish their stories. And for us, we've seen journalists coming to us, students. Last year, we had one of our journalists graduate from Mount Kenya University, and they consistently, for 3 months, actually for over 6 months, they consistently sent stories to us, and their supervisor came to us, and we took them through what we had done with them, and they graduated. So we see there's that demand. Even right now on our desk, we still have letters for request for internship to be placed on our platform, and ours is online. So, and I like the way C.S. Musheru talked about the Ajira platform and just going digital. So I hope we can be able to continue embracing online platforms as they emerge, and even as we encourage them to open their platforms, then we can also mentor them on how to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll read a comment as Aduda gets the microphone. There's somebody who has said this could not have come at a more timely time. That is coming from Narok. MCK and the government should ensure universities offering courses meet the standards and have the necessary equipment and qualified lecturers. That has come from somebody who is writing from Mount Kenya Times newspaper. There's also a comment which has come, this is a good initiative to interns who have had to pay fees previously in order to be absorbed into a media house to be an intern. Now it will be a little easier for them. This is commendable initiative. At last, students can get real industrial attachment that will sharpen their skills and make them competent. Kindly diversify to other departments, not just the news desk. There's also a question, we have been offering internship opportunities in our media house. Do we stop absorbing the external ones, the ones that we do privately, or do we continue with those and then absorb a few more? So I know there will be a comment on that from either Roslyn Obala or the CEO, but I want Aduda to first respond to the question that was addressed to him.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you everyone who has contributed. Before I respond to Dr. Nyanoti's question, two things that have caught my attention. The last statement, the questioner who was asked, should they stop what they're doing? No, they should not. This is complementary. The Media Council is helping the industry to grow base of professionals. So any media house that has its own program, they should continue with that. So this is a complement and helping to create a bigger pool. So think the questioner, rest assured that if you have your programs, please go on with them, perhaps expand as Media Council also helps, so that we have so many people. You've heard Guy talk about 2,000 applicants. You've heard Andy talking about 1,000 or so people. So the need is big. So anybody who can chip in, welcome. Go ahead. And Winnie Kamau has made a comment, and what has struck me is that myself and Nyanoti here grew up in the print industry. This thing of digital were never there. And now, if we hear of online people freelancing and making money, it's a way to go. So these are good initiatives, and that's why, and Victor is very good in spotting where people are. Victor knows who is doing what and where. And bringing such team here is helpful because people who want to even go in that way would be supported. And I think this is the diversity that you're talking about. Specifically to Dr. Nyoti's question, the way the recruitment and placement will be structured is such that, one, the training institution will give the names of candidates that they think or are, the candidates who are due for internship. And they'll tell us we have, could be 10. Out of these 10, the first 5 are from print specialization, 3 videos, 2 data. And then we match that with what the industry needs. So we know that Citizen TV needs 5 digital people, so they'll be taken there. Then a standard needs 3 print people, they'll be taken there. So it will be a match between what the trainers have and the placement opportunities within the industry. And the council's role is now to do placement, and as they do that, they consult the trainer and then consult the media organization. So that is how it will be organized. And in fact, one thing that Dr. Nyoti said, which also worries me, that print is dying. And if you go to USIU, I teach print at UON. The last semester I didn't have students, so we didn't have a print class. So there's a problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have some news here. Charles Oduor, Lubao FM in Kakamega, he says, we are glad to have students here. Send them quickly. So you can see there's already excitement about it. There was a question that was asked about whether they should discontinue the one they have been doing individually, or what do they do? The microphone, please. Rosalie? Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I think the question was online. Maybe just to respond to the same, I think Aduda has alluded to it, but I'll also just stress that this is supplementary to what the media houses have been doing. So if you've been having interns, just continue getting the interns, but supplement with what Media Council is doing. We've already heard from Nation Media Group and the Standard how many applications they receive on a daily basis. We are trying to see as much higher number of trainees that we can actually enlist in this program. Because at the end of the day, when we have so many of the students getting that opportunity, then we also strengthen the standards and the ethical requirements that we have been talking about in terms of staying faith to the code of conduct that we allude to. Thank you.
Thank you. I have two questions coming from the back. I have one from this table. I quite can't see clearly who it is. Okay, go ahead. After that, we'll go to the table right at the back and hear from Joel.
Thank you. Good morning. Mine is not really a question, it's a comment.
Yes.
And to acknowledge this initiative because then it brings a structured way of placing these students to be able to learn. So thank you, Mr. Moyo and the Media Council and David Aduda for putting this together. And I like what Victor mentioned, that the Media Council is going to work or is working with the academic institutions so that they come up with a good, what do we say, the good courses that students can be able to know actually what they are doing, because the challenge we have as media houses is you place students and when they come to the newsroom, you really have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And you know, placement is just 3 months, for example. So 3 months is a very short period to be able to teach somebody how to start writing an intro for them to become qualified journalists, because after internship, most of them go back to school and it's just graduation and they come to the market. So if we really improve the curriculum, then it will be very easy for us as media houses. And when it becomes structured like this, it's good because as editors, the challenge we have, we end up making so many enemies because at any given time, you have so many applications and you can't help, you know? You put so many people in the waiting list, and this waiting list is increasing on a daily basis. So the structured way is going to help us a lot. And if we work together with the Media Council and the institutions, I'm sure we are going to help a lot of students. However, the challenge we see ahead is the capacities that we have as media houses. How many students, for example, a media house can take at any given time for the 3 months? So that's another challenge that we need to really look at so that we make sure we help as many as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll have the microphone go to the back to Joel Karanja.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First, I want to appreciate Media Council for this great initiative. I think one time we were talking with Christine before she joined Media Council. That time she was teaching in the academy and we were trying to look at how we can be able to work together. I represent the Digital Broadcast Association, which has membership spread across the country in terms of placement. And I think this would not have come at such a better time like this, because in my interaction and experience, dealing with some of those students who are coming from school, some of them, you almost like schooling them, even when you're taking them on board. And this gives them an opportunity to be able to learn practical skills that will be able to help them, even where they'll be able to go and work in the future. And also, I think there's a disconnect between the curriculum and what is being taught in the colleges and the universities vis-a-vis what is happening in the market. So this will help the students as they leave campus to be able to acquaint themselves with what is happening in the industry. My question, or maybe a contribution to the issue of placement. Now, with the current media landscape, having media houses spread across the country, is it possible, part of the consideration that to be made, so that we don't have all the placement happening in Nairobi, we can have some happening within the counties, because we have a lot of media houses spread across the country. That will open their eyes so that all the students who are graduating are not looking to come to Nairobi. They know that also there are opportunities which are existing within where they are in the counties and the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joel. That is why you have heard Lubao already campaigning. They want to get some, and they are in Kakamega. Here we have even a question from Janet Ndizi TV in Kisii. They are saying that for vernacular media houses, will Media Council ensure to send interns that can speak and converse, write and broadcast in a particular vernacular language for the same, for these internships? So I'm seeing that this thing is getting more and more diversified, so that we are not sending interns who will only speak in English and Kiswahili. We also will take the ones who are speaking vernacular languages, because again, you know, journalism is journalism. It does not matter the the language. From Jangwani in Marsabit, when is the first batch of students coming for internship? So you can see, Joel, people out there are already looking forward to receiving these interns. I would like to give an opportunity to Aga Khan University representative. The microphone, please. He's sitting at the front.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sam Kamau from Aga Khan University, Graduate School of Media and Communications. I want to laud this initiative by the Media Council of Kenya. And my comments are informed by my experience. Before I joined the Aga Khan University, I used to be in the University of Nairobi, School of Journalism. And my final 2 years before I left University of Nairobi, I was in charge of the internship program. And it wasn't very well structured at the time. And therefore, it was based now on the personal relationships between, the person who is coordinating this and the media houses or some friends in media houses. And that was limited in many ways. But I think this initiative by Media Council of Kenya, that number one, identifies even the opportunities that are available for students across media houses, but number two, also the capacity of those media houses and then the universities and the demand that is there. I think I just wanted to make two observations. One, I acknowledge not all universities have a very structured way of handling internship. They only have it as a requirement. And I remember those days, because that was the case at the University of Nairobi, but I think later it changed. We just needed a student to bring a letter, and say that, you've gone through internship, and even allocate a grade. And I know some students used to go and write the letter for themselves and then bring to us. And you could tell this one, it was a requirement for graduation. But with time, of course, that changed. But the point I'm making is perhaps there will be need in the conversation, Bwana CEO, the team that will be implementing this, also to see the structures, or at least ensure within the universities and the training institutions, how is this structured? But number two, and related to that, is also what is the responsibility of the universities and the academic training institutions, the media houses, and the media council. What are their responsibilities, during that process of internship? For example, is there obligation from the universities to, visit and supervise the students at the point of internship? What is Media Council doing during that process? And of course, the requirement from the other side, including also the grading criteria and how that is structured. But number two, and I think it was raised by one of the comments, either online or the ones that has come through SMS, there are students who kept insisting, yes, I want to be in a media house, but I don't want the journalistic side of it. I want to go to marketing or this. I don't know whether that is captured. I know it's part of what Dr. Nyoti was asking.
Yes.
I know it was partly answered, but also to think, there's somebody who said diversify, don't just think about the editorial side of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And the more we talk about this program, I think the more we are seeing different facets of it. There's even questions that are coming that are asking, since Media Council is following the financial year, and there is also an academic year, how now do we synchronize the internships in terms of the timing and so on and so forth? Maybe Aduda will give. And then they also want to know who are those supervisors going to be. There's also a comment which has come. I believe that this will give us a smooth transition of students. Are we allowed to also absorb them if they are very good as employees once they have completed the internship? Ratego Radio in Siaya, we are ready to absorb them as early as today. So hiyo list ni kama walikuwa wanataka tuwe tumeshachagua interns nini, ndio tukikuja kulaunch tunawapatia majina ya people. But Ratego, we will just ask that you be patient a little bit. We need to go through the process of recruiting and actually evaluating and assessing and then coming up with a list of who are going to be in the first cohort. Aduda, maybe I might want to ask you, they also want to know, this 15,000 shillings, is it per month or per internship period, which could be 3 months, 6 months, and so on and so forth?
Thank you very much. Someone wants a handshake between the academic year and the financial year. not to worry, once the budget has been determined, it's available throughout the year. So this will be, the dates were projected here, we'll be taking people every 3 months consistently. So hakuna mahali itafika sasa tumekwama. So when we start, this is going on. There is no clash between the two. Usually the delay usually is to initiate, to get a new vote head is what takes time until then the budget is read and all that. But once it has begun, that pipeline, that vote head is financed every month consistently for the year. So not to worry about that. 15,000 shillings per month. So for the 3 months, that will be 45,000. There could be a deduction, maybe 1,000 year medical or something like that, but we'll dedicate 15,000 shillings. You call it workman compensation? There's something like that. I think people charge 1,000 shillings so that in case of injuries in the studio and all that. But the 15,000 shillings is per month.
Are there any other comments? At least I have read most of the ones that have come online. Yes, we will take these last
yes.
two.
And then as I finish that, we will reproject the dates so that people know when the applications begin and all that. And we will very quickly, within the next week, draft a simple contract that we send to the media houses and colleges, agree, sign, return. Hakuna mambo mingi, isn't it? We will do this, jointly advertise, jointly recruit, agree the number of people and all that. So the simple contract will come to the media and the institution, sign and return, and the dates so that the people will know when to apply and all that, isn't it? The whole idea is to make this simple and seamless, not layers and layers of paperwork back and forth.
Thank you. Just before you make your comments or pose your question, those who are online, there is a registration form which has been posted to you. Maybe we can post it one more time. We need them to register. Please click on that link and fill out the form so that we know and we are able to identify who was online for this activity, and we'll be able to at least keep in touch. Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much. My name is Nicholas Siwatom from the Standard Media. And I just want to say this is a really great initiative. In a normal year, we take about 100 interns. And they cut across the country because we have bureaus in Mombasa, Eldoret, all that regions. And it's possible to spread those interns across the country so that they don't have to travel to be in Nairobi. My only challenge is the university calendar. I've noted that at the time of internship, you find all the universities, all of them, they are going for internships. So we'll have so many people full and will not be able to take enough. Not because for the 12 months we are not able to take, but because of the pressure of them being brought at one time. Because you can't have one mentor having so many interns. That is just what needs to be looked at. And then we also have those who have graduated who have not had an opportunity like this. So I don't know how we are going to do for those who have already graduated, and there are those who are still in the university, whether there will be a prioritization for those who have finished, let's say, the last 1 year or 2 years, because it is a real problem for parents to get internship for their children. So apart from taking interns, maybe we'll end up absorbing some of the good ones, but just the fact that we can provide that opportunity, I think is a great thing that MCK has brought. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Nicholas. There's a lady whose hand was up. I want to just remind you about the Mentimeter, www.menti.com. And there's a code for those who came in after we had just done it. I think you need to go back to it. Mentimeter, www.menti.com. And the code is 914-36071. Then the form will open to ask you a few questions that you can actually give us some more information of what you expect when they go into the media house. Go ahead and give us your comment or question.
My name is Dr. Joan Mutua from the KWAT. Now my question is, Do they have to be fourth years? Because at the university, mainly we take them for internship at the stage of when they're done with third year, when they're going to fourth year. So what they come with from the attachment, they come back to school with it and we reinforce it. And then the other thing was a suggestion following what one or two people mentioned, that probably you should think about joining us when you're doing our curriculum reviews as stakeholders from the industry.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that input. Aduda, do you want to respond to the question that's been raised? There's a microphone here.
Thank you. And starting with Dr. Mutua's question, yes, I think in terms of the scheduling, when we talked of final year, we meant we'll go by what the university does. At what time do they send students for internship? So those who do it third year into fourth year, yes, they'll qualify. Those who do it after fourth year, yes, they'll qualify. Okay? So, and that means our teams will need more conversation with universities to understand also the schedule so that we all align. The fourth year that we said was, the final year was a guide, but it's not rigid. So we'll go by the plans of the universities. Secondly, and this one I know Dr. Moyo, my friend Omoyo will talk about it later, about Media Council getting involved in reviews. I know Victor has been doing that quite a lot, but I know Omoyo has been sending Victor to represent Media Council in many sessions where universities are reviewing their curriculum. The other day I know they were in Maseno, the time they were in Masinde Muliro. So I think as a part of the industry and training collaboration, Media Council is in a position to do that, and I believe they encourage that. But the CEO will talk about it. I want to then not really respond, but reinforce what Nicholas has said. And he's also given an interesting perspective, which I know the Media Council team is taking on board. Media houses that have bureaus across the country, they can take in more trainees, and that's a good opportunity. So if, for example, Standard has, are there 7 bureaus? So they can take, they'll take some here, then they'll take others across the country, and that opens up. At the same time, at this point in time, we have at least a radio station in 45 counties. So it means that this can be spread, and the intention is to spread this across the country. Similarly, Media Council has offices across the country. So there'll be people from the Media Council at the regional level which will be able to supervise those people at those levels. So that structure exists, and it will be really be put into use to support that. Then there's a question or a comment that Dr. Mau raised, and this is captured in the MOU, the contract that Bwana Mu was talking about. In the MOU, we have stipulated the role of the training institution, the role of the media institution, and the role of the student. What will each do? For the sake of accountability and for the sake of coherence in the program. So for example, the media organization will be required to have a conducive working environment. Will be required to have somebody supervising the trainee. Will be required at the end of the session to do a report. Similarly, the trainee will be doing a record, kind of a log, and we'll be doing an evaluation which says that I went to this place, sure, I had a supervisor. I was given assignment. I was assisted. The people who looked after me. I went there, they're so harsh, so we'll also get that from the student. And then the media organization will also be saying what it does, and then the training institution. And we'll say that the training institution will be involved in also quality checks and quality assurance. So by the time they'll be making visits, and that will also have an MOU with them so that when they go there, they have a responsibility to ensure that their trainee is supervised. And I know they already have existing structures of doing that, or even forms which they use. So those will be used. So there'll be a 3-tier level of monitoring how these people are, and these are all articulated in the MOU. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. There's somebody who is online who is worried about KNA. They're saying that the internship needs to be extended to KNA as well. And I must reassure you that it is going to be extended to Kenya News Agency. So those students who get internship, who get into the program, can also be sent to Kenya News Agency. I want to close this meeting so that we are able to go and attend to business. The CEO wants to make a comment. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I thought David Aduda said I will clarify a matter or two. I will start with what you are saying. Yes, I think the Director of Information and KNA have already received our proposed MOU. We are also signing an MOU with KNA and the Director of Information, because one of the things that worries us a lot is when we have a breakdown of communication between the media and government. We have also sought to have an MOU with the Office of Government Spokesman, because when we have media looking for information, government does not know what information is needed. Tunashinda with a lot of complaints. Either the CS is complaining, or the police are complaining, or the media is saying serikali haionge and all that. So we try to make sure to promote that relationship so that life can go on. And yes, we give a lot of opinion about journalism courses. Apart from the curricula we have for print, electronic, and digital media, we also have modular courses: health reporting, election reporting, climate change reporting, and they are modular courses that are short and targeted. So yes, we participate a lot. And the truth is, sometimes some schools offering media training have no single media professional. They have people from the literature and languages department, and they're teaching people radio production, and they do not even have a microphone. Oh, it's a scandal. It's very bad, really. I mean, I have... so then, and it extends to universities. You give people a degree in journalism, specialist in television production. Hamuna TV studio, hamuna microphone, hamuna camera, huyo mtoto hajaenda attachment na unampatia degree. Does that happen in the Republic of Kenya? Many places, isn't it? You teach radio, you have no basic radio studio, hamuna microphone, hamuna a recorder. Even you don't teach them to use the recorder on the phone, because the Android recorder is very good, isn't it? And then the person teaching this, I was somewhere where the head of faculty was the director of the university printing press, and he's the head of faculty. Truth, and it happens in the year, zamani sana, and it was in the year AD, it was not BC. So those are, but just so we give a lot of opinion on this, because we have the MCK Academy, which is what holds our training unit. Christine Nguku is here, then we have Bwana Sigei there, and then we have several consultant trainers. Aduda is here and several other consultant trainers. I think Dr. Kamau Hapa, Nyebuga, they are all part of the academy, because the academy is virtual. You can provide commentaries and advice on this. I think Aduda has visited several universities, look at their curricula, give opinions and all that. So it's not a building we have, and that happens. And yes, Dr. Kamau, you spoke about PR and all that. We stick to media. But ukiwa kwa media house attachment 90 days, si ukitaka kufunzwa kufanya PR and marketing, si utafunzwa tu. So, so the application is within the media department. You want to go to the newsroom and all that. It depends on creativity to know what you can, isn't it? Sisi, as long as you go there, you attach the relevant department, which is relevant to, let's call it a content department. The Media Council, we are interested in content, what is generated from the media house. We know, of course, even accounts are part of content. They assist to fuel the car and all that. But while you are in there, if you have an interest, you can always get, like studio management and all that, which is not taught very much in colleges, but you learn that practically in the newsroom, isn't it? So it depends. Lakini watoto wa siku hizi, Someone came to my house on Sunday morning, akaniambia kijana yangu anataka internship. Nikamwambia atume email, attach barua ya shule na documents na copy academy and myself. So what I go and see is just an email and a blank. Somebody does not bother to even introduce themselves. The truth is that I go through this on average about 3 or 4 times a month. And even if you are wewe ni mtoto wa dadangu, if you do that nonsense, I would not allow you. There's a neighbor in Nakuru who doesn't talk to me because I told her, Mom, I am sorry, I will not talk to your daughter. That's a horrible attitude. I mean, say, this is my name, and find attached, isn't it? When you simply go and attach, and you're a university student. I thought we were taught to introduce ourselves in class 5. I mean, it's a shame. I keep saying this all the time, that when in 2003 I went to the Standard for my first job, David Okwamba told me, Omoyo ka pale, write for me in 300 words, your journey here this morning. That was the interview I was given. I give many people that interviews. Na hizi madegree zenyu za distinction, less than 2 out of 10 of your degree holders can do that. You're looking for basic English comprehension. So we are not taking universities, daktari and all that. But the ground, hata ukiuliza these editors and the training people, watakwambia ground, the people we are churning is, we are getting extremely shallow people. We need to really strengthen and have a sense of responsibility. Anyway, asante. So we said we take what is within the mandate in the content development, journalism, photojournalism, graphic design, and all that. But then if someone has an interest, people will always find a way. 90 days is a lot of time. And here's the inspection for the interns. You have the responsibility in the media house, HR, because the person is posted under the editor, isn't it? The HR, the training person goes through. Maybe sometimes we have a training editor. The media council, we will be getting someone to go through. Not necessarily our staff members. We'll be getting consultants. We could send professors and lecturers from universities, go around media houses and see, because there will be a worksheet and comments and all that. More or less like the CBC assignment, where I'm not to me, I say, Jioni Muzazi and assign, there will be that. So not necessarily myself or Christine, but we will have industry people that you could get. I said our training work is virtual. We could ask Dr. Kamau here or Dr. Joan there to go and take care of students from Nairobi University in the Nation Media Group and all that. So there will be a lot of that, so that it's something that is recorded. And I think that should be my final remark for the day. And asanteni sana for creating time.
Thank you, sir, for clarifying for us. I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank you for coming. I'd like to thank those who are online for being present with us, staying with us, and even sending your comments and trusting us to represent your views here. I know online there was KU, Waumini, Elimu, University of Nairobi, KBC, Standard, Daystar University, Hope Media, Aga Khan University, ZTech, USIU, the list is long. I might not be able to finish. Even Riara was present. But those who are in the house, I would like to also thank you, lecturers and trainers, for being present physically and enjoying a little breakfast with us as we discuss this. Editors from various media houses, we are really grateful that you created the time. HR representatives who came from the stakeholders, from the Nation Media Group, from Standard, from Radio Africa, Capital. I'm really thankful. Even from Royal Media Services, I'm really thankful that you all, thought this was important enough for you to spend a morning discussing this industrial placement program that we are launching. I'd also like to thank in absentia the CS, Joe Musheru, for making time to come and launch this program for us. It just shows us that he thinks that what we are doing, we are on the right track, and I think he did make such sentiments in his remarks. I'd like to thank Rosalie Nobala, the chairperson of the Media Development and Training Committee, for coming and even for the remarks that you have made for us. Now we do understand, and we can now see the kind of work that is going on in that committee and even at the Media Council. Thank you, sir, Mr. David Omoyo, for putting this together and really for the thought process that started at the beginning. One day he mentioned this to me when I was very new at the Media Council, and I started thinking, industrial placement, okay, how does that work? Where does it go? How does it get rolled out? And so on and so forth. Kumbe in the background, he was also lobbying and doing handshakes to look for money and so on. And then finally he now comes and he says, it's done. Let's now move with it. It's really an honor for us to have such a CEO who is really forward-thinking and who is able to put some of these thoughts into paper. And now it's going to be on the road. You know, the interns are going to come in and they will start walking around in the newsrooms. The editors and the HR people who are here and those who have joined us online, please, when those interns come, give them work to do. Give them some story to write. For me, I was not spared when I went into internship. The very first day, and I don't know whether this was a way of them bullying me into just knowing that I've just come in and I can't do a very big story. I was sent to cover sewage that had burst somewhere in Korogosho. I had never stepped in Korogosho, and to tell you the truth, I was scared because I was sent by myself. But my cameraman, because I worked for TV, encouraged me and told me, don't worry, those high heels you're wearing, wacha tununue slippers hapa bata, so that you're able to now walk around a little bit more comfortably, and then we can now file a story. So when they come, just send them to those stories. Let them learn on the job as they do it. It's the best experience, because then you have a story to tell of how you became a journalist, as opposed to that you sat down, you Googled, you downloaded, you copy-pasted. That's a very boring story and a very lazy way of doing journalism. Just send them in the field. Let them go and taste a little bit of tear gas, you know? Let them also go and taste running around and chasing this person who is your source to get a story. So I want to thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to a good working relationship together. Let's keep on sharing even the challenges when they come so that we can troubleshoot and be able to roll out this in a smooth manner for the benefit of our young people. With those very many remarks, I want to ask all of us to go back to our offices and build the nation. Thank you very much. Those who are online, please ensure that you have signed the attendance sheet, the one that identifies who was here. We might be having further conversations with you in the coming days. And maybe when we come into your town, we now know a name and a number of someone we can call and visit them physically. So thank you so much for those who are online. Let's now fill out the form and then log out and get into the business of building the nation. Thank you, guys.